what's that, I think it's Santana where he's like, that was me every time. I was like, I gotta go. Like, I got to go immediately. Y'all, the way I'm about to play myself is crazy. So I have an esthetician appointment at 11:45 and it is now 10:06 and I plan to record 3 videos before I have to leave for my appointment. So I set a 20-minute timer to do like my makeup right now and this Chit Chat Get Ready With Me, and I already lost 6 minutes just like trying to refocus my camera. But I'll do my edges probably after, just because I don't want to have to get up and like rewash my hands after I touch, you know, the edge control and then try to put makeup on. But before we get into this video, make sure you go ahead and hit the red subscribe button down below. Give this video a big thumbs up because we're about to get into it. So today I'm just going to be talking to you guys about how I feel about like moving out. Like, this won't be the in-depth video, but I'll just more so be telling you guys like some things to think of before you jump ship. That, not to say I didn't think about them, but I didn't realize how much they would impact me until I left. So let me just get started on my eyebrows. And I know they're growing out. I don't trust nobody to do my eyebrows, so they might have to stay like this for a little while. Let me just try to pluck out some. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Alright, so first I'm gonna go in with this Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. Oh, okay, I can finally do like the hair. This is the product. That's cute. If you guys didn't notice, I am using a new lens. That's why it's so zoomed in. And shout out to Kinesthetic. I like picked her brain about which lens would be like best for me to get, and I ended up getting the one that she mentioned. So I went to go raid her Amazon store. I got the one she mentioned, and then I also picked up another one that the guy at BH Photo recommended for me to get. So yeah, that worked out exactly how I wanted it to work out, and I think I'm honestly gonna keep both lenses. Originally I just wanted to try them out, but they both like serve the purpose that I want them to serve. So like the 50mm is like super zoomed in and it does that like autofocus thing that I wanted, so I like that. But yeah, so I have like my little list here so that you guys can kind of stay on track of what I'm talking about, and I think it'll be good if I go through it while I'm doing my eyebrows, so you guys are just not sitting here looking at me like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm using the Morphe M165 brush, so it's very like pretty much the same thing I did in my first Chit Chat Get Ready With Me, because this is super quick. The only thing is I am going to use my Fenty foundation because I'm not about to use my Lancome to take it right off in 10 minutes. Like, we're not doing that. But yeah, so basically I moved out. This like 2021 would make it 4 years since I moved out, and honestly I have learned so much, like so much. And the thing that kind of sparked this for me is because the other day my friend asked me, she was like, you don't be like stressed out thinking about like bills and rent? And I was like, girl like, that's my middle name. And I was just like telling her, I'm like, honestly, I just have to laugh to keep myself from going crazy, because it's really a joke. Like, it's just really a joke. And it's like, all right, so let me get into the tips. So basically, when I moved, I had, so I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. I was making, I think it was like $60,000 out of college. But at the time, my salary was $66,000. So that was, what, 4 years ago? So I was just like, all right, like, I know how much I need to move out. Like, I know how much rent I can afford to pay. So my budget was like $1,500. And that was like super, like, expensive for me, because I didn't want like all of my money to go towards rent. So I was like, all right, like, that is the most I'm willing to pay. So I started to look at places that were like around that price, and it's like I just didn't really see anything that I liked. And then I was like $1,600, and then $1,500, and then, you know, they have like broker fees and like the month security. So I was like, oh my god, like up front I'm really about to be paying $4,000. So I kept looking around. I think I saw like maybe 10 places, and I was like, I don't really see anything I like, because, you know, when you're moving, there's a lot of factors that go into it. Like, you want to be close to transportation, you want to be close to like a laundry, then you're worried about like, you know, the safety of the area, obviously living alone as a woman. So you're just like, all right, like how am I going to take all of these things into consideration and still get an affordable rent? So I don't remember if affordable housing was like a thing then. I think it was, and I think I applied for it, but you know, they don't be calling nobody back. Another thing was that it was good because I had credit. So you definitely need credit when you're moving out. Like, you need to have some form of credit, because that is how you apply for apartments. And I'm just being very, like, I'm extensively explaining this because I feel like these are things we assume people know, and a lot of times they don't. So yeah, you obviously have to have credit. Let me just grab my fancy girl. Get over here. Where you at? Oh no, girl. Oh, here it is. But yeah, let's swap that Fenty out. I mean, that Lancome out for that Fenty. But yeah, so I was just like, all right, I have my credit. And I think my credit score at the time, like, I had just, like, you know, did I just graduate? Yeah, I had basically just, like, graduated college. I had a car. So I got a car because I needed it to get to work. And I also got a car. I got a car during my senior year of college because I wanted to work, because my work study ran out. So I was like, I need to start saving money if I want to move out when I graduate, because that's just what I wanted to do. So I was like, all right, like, these are the moves that I need to make to ensure that when it's time for me to move out, my ducks are in a row. So I did that, and I finally found an apartment that I liked. The rent was listed as something, and it ended up being like $200 cheaper. So I was like, this is amazing, beautiful, this works out perfectly. But the neighborhood was a little rough. But what I did was, like, I tried to, like, I brought like everybody there to look at the neighborhood. So I brought my current boyfriend with me. We weren't together at the time, but I don't know, we just like connected. So I was like, okay, I trust him. I think I brought him. I brought my aunt. I think I brought my mom. I was like, let's go survey this area at night, because I need to know what the situation is looking like, what the scene is. So it wasn't too crazy. There was like people outside, but I was like, whatever, you know, I'm from Flatbush, like, I'll be all right. So I moved in, and I think I paid like almost $5,000 up front, like, just for the security deposit, first month's rent, and the broker's fee. Like, they were dragging it. And the reason why is because the apartment was so affordable. So what they do is they like hike up the price because they know somebody's gonna pay it. Like, they know somebody's gonna pay it. So he definitely threw the price up on me, and I was like, bruh, yeah, my eyebrows are crazy. Don't even talk about it, because I'm doing what most people don't do. I'm doing my eyebrows on camera. But yeah, so that was that. He hiked up the security thing, whatever, the broker's fee, and I was just like, honestly, whatever. So then I moved in, and before I say anything else, just to, like, a lot of people were like, when I first moved, and I was like, oh my god, I got my first apartment, a lot of people were like, okay, like, how much do you think you need to move? And I was like, girl, because when I was living home, I was making a good amount for somebody that lived at home and didn't pay rent. So it was easy for me to save. So I would be like throwing $1,000 on my student loans, be cashing out in the mall. So I was just like, all right, like, I'm living a good life, but I need to move out because I didn't have my own space. And I just was like, I was ready to go, and it was just time to go. But yeah, so they were asking me like, how much do you need to move out? And I'm like, you know what, honestly, I would say you need $10,000 to $15,000. And that is not really including your savings. Like, some of it could be your savings, but that mostly needs to be cash that you know you're gonna get back soon. And the reason why I gave that amount is because you had, like, for me, I had to buy furniture because obviously, like, I didn't have a living room set. I was living at home, and furniture is expensive. But thank God my aunt bought me my living room and my kitchen set, so that worked out. But I still had to buy everything else, like the little stuff, like towels and sheets and a bed, like. So I was just like, what the actual hell? And then it's like, then you gotta pay utilities. I had to pay the light bill. I needed Wi-Fi. I chose not to get cable because I was like, I don't know who's paying for this. And honestly, I didn't grow up with cable, so I was okay. Like, I didn't get cable until very late. Like, my aunt had cable, and I just used to go upstairs to her house because we lived in a private house. So I was like, all right, like, you know, I'm not really in the trenches because I never had cable. So I think that's why I don't really watch TV, because, you know, how many times can you watch Recess on Channel 7? Was it Channel 7? How many times can I watch Recess? Like, Nickelodeon was like, it was like a luxury. I'm dragging it, but yeah, it was just like, it was just a lot. And then it's just like small stuff, like I needed a TV. I needed a TV for the bedroom. I needed a TV for the living room. And I actually didn't have a TV in my bedroom just because I didn't watch TV. So I was like, why do I need a TV in my bedroom? But then I ended up just like appeasing my boyfriend, and he ended up getting a TV, and I was just like, oh, I guess. But it's just another way to be wasting electricity, like be falling asleep with the TV on. Like, I don't got time for that. Like, I'm used to my grandmother. I leave the fridge open and she's blacking on me because she's like, you left the fridge open, you burning current. And I'm just like, all right, girl. So I don't be leaving nothing on. Like, I be in here and it just be lamps. And it's not because I'm trying to be cheap. It's just because I don't really need to have the light on in the day. Like, I get a lot of sunlight. Not today, because today is rainy, but the sun be doing what it needs to do. But yeah, so, ooh, not on the pimple. We don't want that. But yeah, so it was a lot. Like, I definitely recommend you having at least that amount, because things get real fast. And when you're living alone, you have to have money in case of emergencies. Like, I know some people's parents will just kind of like move them in, furnish their apartment, all of that. And I didn't really have that per se. Like, you know, my aunt did help me out and my mom was there, but it was just like, I was kind of just doing everything on my own, and it was stressful. Like, it was really stressful. And then I know a lot of people are concerned about like being lonely. Like, how did I feel like living by myself? And honestly, at first it was like kind of weird, but then I met my boyfriend. So it's like I got to adjust to it slowly. Like, I was by myself a lot, but I just slowly adjusted to it because I knew that was what I wanted. But I was just, oh, and I had my car, so I was able to just kind of drive to, oh girl, we ran out of time to make up what we only did eyebrows. Oh my god. Alright, I'm gonna snooze and I'm just gonna slap the rest of my face on. Y'all got me messed up. But yeah, so I got like a can y'all see that? Oh my god, that's ghetto. That's real ghetto. Just pretend I didn't see that. I hope Cynthia don't see it, because she'll be like, what? Like, that's my childish. But yeah, so yeah. So as far as loneliness, like, it is lonely. I was talking to my friend. Wow, I did not put primer on. I am bugging out. Oh my goodness. It just reminds me, I saw a meme the other day, and it's like, when you forget to put primer on. But it's okay, because I'm only keeping this face on for like, what, an hour? But yeah. Oh, I just wiped off all the makeup. Alright, we just gonna figure it out. But yeah, so it was definitely lonely, but that was what I wanted. I was like, I have to be a big girl because this is what I want. I want to live alone. I didn't want roommates. Like, I didn't even consider roommates. And it was just like, in college, I didn't want roommates. Like, as soon as I was eligible for a single, I was in a single, and I barely spoke to my suite mates. And I kind of regret it now, because I'm like, damn girl, you was mad antisocial for no reason. But I was just like, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. Like I did have friends in college, but I just like didn't want to live with anybody. And I think that's because I didn't have my own room growing up. So I'm like, I finally get to have a space. Like, and I just feel like a lot of people didn't really understand that, because they had like their own room, or they were just like used to being with people. And I just like, that's not my vibe. Like, I'm a very much like, I'm an introvert. So I'm just, whoa, I just like spill all over, and y'all are gonna see that on camera. But I'm like such an introvert. So I was like, girl, I'm not trying to live with nobody. But yeah, so as far as loneliness, you get used to it. You could like invite your parents or whoever, friends over. I was doing like Friendsgivings. I did like stuff for Christmas. I would have game nights before the world closed. That's what I'm saying, I would, because currently I cannot. But yeah, like it just worked out because I made it work. So if you're gonna sulk all the time and you're not ready to make the move, stay home, girl. Stay your black home, or whatever color you have home, because you will disintegrate. And I even saw, I think her name is One and Only Jess. Like, she moved back home because she just like, from what I gathered from the piece of the video that I watched, I think I watched the whole thing. I really like her though. Her name, I think it's One and Only Jess. She moved back home because she was just like, I couldn't do it. Like, I just could not be that far away from my family. And meanwhile, I'm like, girl, I'm living. Like, I'm living right now. I think I put too much 420 because this is looking a little dark, but we'll be okay. But yeah, so I think as now with the pandemic, I feel more like separated, because it's like you worry like if your parents are gonna get sick, like you don't want to go over there because what if you have something. So honestly, like I did get tested for COVID like every 2 weeks just so I could like be around them. And yeah, like I just be wanting to do like wellness checks. Like, I don't know about you guys, but my mother, my grandmother, like my family, the adults, they're like, it's like you become the adult after a certain age, and you got to be telling them like, did you make your like doctor's appointment? Like, did you do this? Because I feel like they get older and they just start ignoring stuff like, oh, that's supposed to hurt. And it's like, no, like, no. So I be doing my rounds. Like, I be going by my grandmother's house, I go to my aunt's house, and my grandmother and my mom live in the same place. So that's what I mean when I say about my grandmother's house. I'm also going to check on my mom. But it's just like, bro, like y'all can't take care of yourselves. Like, so I'm worried about myself, I'm worried about them, and it's just a whole lot of worrying going on. And I just feel like if I was living at home, I wouldn't have to be worried about those things, because I wouldn't be separated from them. So these are not things that like I thought that I would be thinking about until I moved out. I like this Chit Chat GRWM thing because it feels like I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, so next thing on the list, I did say saving up. I said leaving family, jobs and security. Girl, I think I wasn't working at one point for like, I'm not working right now because my contract ended and I just don't have a job. But I be working it. Like, I be trying my best. I be applying and stuff. But honestly, I'm not pressed because my last job before my contract, it really threw me for a loop. Like, that job wore me thin. Like, I'll do a separate video on that because that was borderline. That was abuse. Like, it was literally abuse. Oh my god, my eyebrow is not looking like how I want it to look. Whatever. But yeah, so jobs and security. So my ideal life was like, I wanted to be like somewhere in a career where I could like know that my job was secure, or at least that I had enough experience. At least that I had enough experience where even if my job wasn't secure, I could find another job in record timing. So I had the job and I think, was it when I moved? Yeah, I think I moved like right before or right after I had like went on an LOA, and I didn't have like, I'm not even gonna say that on YouTube, but I was really like, you know what I'm saying, I wanted a new job. So I was like trying to find a new job, and it was like 6 months and I could not find a job. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, I really spent money on this degree, did all of this stuff, and I still cannot find a job? I was just, you know, I was a little confused because I felt like I was an eligible bachelor. Like, I was in a good role. I was in retail management. I was doing all this stuff, and I just like could not find a job. So I finally found a job, and I was like, okay, this is the job that's going to push me into paying, like, doing what I need to do and living like the life that I need to be living. So I was going to wet my beauty blender, but I don't know if we have time, so I'm about to just try to use this brush, and this brush is hard as hell. Okay, softened up, but it's looking crazy. I'm about to have to wet the beauty blender. But yeah, I was just like, you know, whatever. So that is when I started working at Macy's, and I was making more money at Macy's. I think that was when I was making the 66K. And I'm only telling y'all my old salaries. I'm not telling y'all my recent salaries because y'all gonna be in my business, and I don't want you to do that. But yeah, so started working at Macy's. I was like, okay, job secured. Things is about to be looking up. I can finally like take a breather. I can do some redecorating. I can do everything that I needed to do. And now that I'm moving out, but bruh, that job, I don't know, it's top 5 dead or alive. Like, that's how I felt every day. Was like, I'm either dead or I'm alive. And every day I felt like I was dying. I was like, why can't I find a job that's not gonna throw me for a loop? Like, what is going on? So yeah, like, as far as job security, unless you're someone who just like I always adapt, but I hated every job that I've had. Like, I literally hated every job. And when I didn't hate the job itself, I hated my manager. So I'm just like, why? Like, why can't I live my regular life? So like, it was just a lot. Like, I was just like, you know what, like, the money is good, but the management is terrible. It was a lot for me. So as far as job security, you just gotta stay on your toes. If you're not someone who likes your job, you just gotta make sure that you always have a savings, you always have money ready just in case something happens, which is me. Like, I'm always saving for a rainy day because none of these jobs is about to play me. So that's like that's my motto. I need to make sure that I'm in a position at any given point, like for example in a pandemic, that I have the money that I need to have to be able to sustain myself in a dire situation such as the one that we are currently in. I'm doing all this blinking, I didn't even set my eyes. Yeah, this is the second timer, so that means you'll probably have like 30 minutes now. And I'm gonna upload this whole video because I like talking to you guys. But yeah, so I'm just like, bruh, like, what? And it's so funny because before I moved, my aunt was like trying to tell me to get a condo, and I was like, girl, I don't know if I'm ready for that commitment. Because I was like, I didn't have the idea that I would end up back at home, because I was like, I'm not ending up back at home. That was like my thing. Like, I did not want to end up back at home, which is why I think that I was so adamant about like making sure that I have money saved up, because I was like, no way in hell I'm going back home, girl. And then a lot of people, I don't think, mention this. Like, when I moved out, my grandmother was literally pissed. Like, she was like so mad. It was like a blowout. And I'm just like, girl, like, you're mad because I'm leaving to better myself. Like, and I feel like, I don't know if that's like a Caribbean thing or it's just like varies from person to person, but she was so mad. And I don't know how you guys grew up, but I grew up, my grandmother, like, as soon as I turned 18, she's just like, you know, like, you gotta go. And I'm just like, what kind of family is this? Like, what is this? Like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I took the straight and narrow. I went to college. I got a job. I got my car. Like, I'm doing everything that, I didn't have no kids, because, you know, that's like a thing. I'm doing everything that I need to do, and you are still bothering me. Like, what the hell? What the HE double hockey sticks? And that's also like what kind of pushed me to leave, because I was like, there's no way that I'm dealing with the stress of work and then she trying to stress me out when I get home. I was like, oh no, girl, we ain't doing that. Like, I need some peace, quiet, relaxation, meditation, because sis, she was just doing too much. And I was like, what's that I think it's Santana when he's like, that was me every time. I was like, I gotta go. Like, I got to go immediately. But I left and I'm still here. So clearly that says something about how it is moving out. But yeah, it was a lot. Like, I'm doing a contour and everything like I'm going somewhere. I hope this makeup is good enough because, girl, y'all know I'm short on time. I have 0 minutes, literally 0 minutes. But yeah, that's just like, I'm gonna do, let me know if you guys want a more in-depth video about like the breakdown of how I did exactly what I did and like how I searched for apartments. I'll eventually do an apartment tour. To be quite honest, I've lived here for 4 years, and I think this year is the first year that I feel like my apartment is actually like looking like how I want it to look. So that's another thing I want to say. Like, when you move, unless you like somebody that got like $100,000 to spend on your apartment, don't expect it to come together overnight, because there will be a couple nights like I just got a nightstand, and the reason is because I just couldn't find one that I liked. And I was like, I'm not about to spend no money on no nightstand. I don't even like it. So I was like, I need to find something that I love. And this one is okay. Like, it does what I needed to do. And I don't feel bad because it was only $70. But yeah, unless you're like in some, like, I feel like if I had a city job, because I just feel like that's like the ultimate job, a city job. You don't have to worry about nothing. You got benefits, you got pension, you got social security. Like, that's like my goal. But I just can't find a city job. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much done with my makeup. Let me just put on some blush, and I'm probably gonna set my face for the 10 minutes that I'm about to have this makeup on. I hope I don't look crazy on camera. Even if I do, I'm still posting this video. But yeah, like, don't be in a rush to jump ship unless you really have a plan. Like, I'm okay because I had a plan. Like, this was premeditated. I didn't just say, I'm leaving tomorrow. Like, I don't know how people just like leave with $1,000. Like, that could never be me, unless like I had no choice, because I do not like feeling like I'm not secure. Like, I heard it's like a Taurus thing, but if I feel like a little shaky, I'm not doing it. I'm not. So I had to feel like bag secured before I even thought about moving out. And even then, I was still like, do I have enough savings? Because, like, look at right now, the apocalypse. I don't got no job, and I'm surviving. Like, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm not penny pinching. I'm not missing meals. Like, I feel fine. Like, I don't feel that additional stress of the pandemic because I'm not searching for my next meal. So those are things to think of. Don't just be leaving the nest and you ain't ready, girl, because you're gonna feel it, and it does not feel good. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much like it for this video. Let me just move this mirror and do my edges so y'all can feel like I actually like tried, you know. Just put on a little highlighter, and I'm gonna be like filming my Fenty Gloss Bomb lookbook, so watch out for that video. Fenty Gloss Bomb creams, that is, which is why I'm doing my makeup right now. But I was like, let me just do a chit chat, get ready with me to like streamline this process. But yeah, so I don't have on any lashes. I think, do I need lashes? I'll probably not put on the lashes in this video and put it, I'm gonna do lashes after. But yeah, so I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I just wanted to do like a quick chit chat, get ready with me before I go get my chemical peel. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button down below. Let me know if you have any questions, you want to talk, like if you're considering moving out. I know rent is like dropping right now. Like, the rates are amazing, and if I was eligible to move, I would be moving to a better apartment, even though I have so much space. So definitely look into pre-war buildings, and don't let the face value tell you the price of the apartment. A lot of times, especially if it's rent stabilized in New York City, it's lower than it's actually listed as. So I just wanted to pop in. This is the official tissue of my get ready with me look, because I was looking crazy before. Crazy. Just do some edges, something real quick, because I literally have no time left. It's 11 o'clock. I'm probably gonna have to take an Uber. I don't like spending money on Uber, y'all. Like, I got rent to pay. In a panoramic. I got rent to pay in a panoramic. Do that make sense? No. I'm letting y'all know it don't make no sense. Okay, we did that. Alright guys, so that is the final look. I hope this video was helpful for you guys in your journey to moving, if you are moving. And if you have any questions, as I said, link them below. Bye y'all.